What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Guys, in the last 2 years, I have seen the emergence of many content creators in the manosphere rise to the top of the charts. Some of them even entering in the mainstream media. Our brother Kevin Samuels was talked about by Shaquille O'Neal. He was talked about by Joe Budden, Nicki Minaj. Almost everybody in the black internet talked about Kevin Samuels. And then subsequently after his death, the burgeoning of Andrew Tate, who was talked about almost everywhere. And then at the same time, another content creator who has been on YouTube for quite some time and started taking off himself with some of his, on his second channel, his reaction videos, a guy by the name of Sneeko. And I didn't know who he was until I saw somebody shared a clip that he was with the Fresh and Fit podcast, and they're another group that's burgeoning in the red pill space. And I guess he was saying certain things very controversial, Andrew Tate-ish like. Now, let me just say this, on the platform. If you are getting big and your platform has to do with a lot of controversy, what you're going to get. Now, obviously, some of these guys are talented. I'll give them that. But one of the things that you'll see is people calling for the demise of that content creator. And it's not just blogs. We saw it with Kevin Samuels. We saw it with Andrew Tate. And, Kevin Samuels played, by the rules. He kind of, never really went so overboard in what he was doing. Unlike these other guys, which are, younger. These guys are more raw. So these guys are not as seasoned as some of us, guys who are a little bit older and kind of been past that. And so what happens is that you got several content creators asking for Sneeko to be removed from YouTube because of the violation of guidelines. Now, what happened was yesterday on his Instagram, he posted that he had been removed from YouTube. And not only did the second channel get removed, but the first channel that had no strikes also got removed. So how it kind of works on YouTube is that if you have more than 3 strikes, the channel is typically removed. And usually that particular YouTuber cannot come back to the platform, especially if you're a guy that's high profile. High profile guys. I mean, like, everybody knows you. Now, I know there's some black YouTubers who used to do it. Like even Tommy Sotomayor used to do it all the time. Get deleted and come back, but then they got tired of him. So I've seen it, but this guy is possibly never coming back to the platform. Number one, he's way too big and way too known and has so many enemies. And just the content that he's talking about is really offensive. Let me kind of talk about this as far as where I think the red pill guys should go. Most of us that are, in the manosphere, and I'm a black manosphere content creator, and so I don't really talk about so many things that maybe some of these guys talk about as far as being vile and maybe like a little bit more blunt. But what I will tell you is that when you're on a public platform like YouTube or Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, these platforms are here to make money. They're here to make money for advertisers. That's something that content creators got to be able to understand, that we have to be able to get things over, but at the same time, do it in a way that doesn't violate what these people consider community guidelines. Now, if I want to have unfiltered conversations, and I do have them, one of the places I'm not going to do it is on YouTube. I'm not going to do it on Facebook. I'm not going to do it on Instagram. if we feel like those things have to be said, and it has to be said in a blunt way, a la Andrew Tate-ish way, or some of the guys, in the red pill sector that's, really hardcore and get banned. Especially if you're talking about people in protected groups. There's a certain level of way you got to say things. And it's not just a YouTube thing. This is an everyday life thing. I really want guys in the manosphere, especially in the black sector, to understand one thing. We have been spending the last 7 years talking about the foolishness that we see going on in society with simps, with some aspects of feminism. But here's what really beats all of that. And I want guys to really make sure you understand. Being successful. Being successful is paramount for the manosphere community, for the red pill community. And I'm a guy that I have no ill will against women. In fact, I love our women. I love our people. But for the ones that are acting foolish, and you don't like them, here's what you can do. Be very successful, and you don't have to deal with it. That's pretty much how the manosphere should really work, in my honest opinion, going forward. And maybe it's because, I've worked hard in my life, and now I'm seeing some little bitty bit of success, and I'm starting to understand that more or less now. But really, that's what it's about. It's about black men, or men in general, understanding the plight that's against them, being successful, taking the same political moves that every other group does, funding your ideas, having power within your ideas, and if people are not meeting your standards, they just can't get to you. You know, that's the thing about having money. In any country, can you get next to the people who own things? We have this conversation. I seen Kevin Samuels have it with the average at best chick. He told her something that's very important. You want these guys. You can't even get in the same room next to them. It doesn't matter if you make $100,000 a year. You can't even get in the room, which is very true for most of us as average people. We can't get in the room with successful people because they play by different rules than us. And I think that what happens in the red pill community is that a lot of things that have been said about what's going on with men and women have already been stated. I think there's different ways to come at it in such a tonality, especially with some of the younger guys who can relate to their audience. But it all comes back to just being successful. Be successful. You don't have to deal with the women or people you don't want to be around. You can literally move away from them. You can literally choose who you want to be in and out of your life. And then you don't have to worry about being canceled because, you're talking about this creeper or whatever. And I get it. I've said things like that before, or rude things before. But be successful. Worry about what you have to do as a man. Work with other men who are like-minded and build the community you want to see. And the people who shouldn't be there will not be allowed in there. And like this guy Sneeko made a lot of money on YouTube and then being kicked off of TikTok. Then most likely he'll be kicked off of Instagram. So typically when you get kicked off of one, when you're that big, you get kicked off all of them. So then where's your ability to earn now? All because you had some opinions that you wanted to share with people. And let me tell you like this. There are a lot of opinions that I have now in my older age. And I'll just keep it to myself. How I really feel about certain things. Maybe I don't need to come out here and talk about it here because it's not important. What's important is if I don't like those certain things, to keep people of that ilk away from me. As long as you leave me alone, I don't give a damn. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson. Back at it again with another episode of Celebrity Drunk. Appreciate you for all that you do. I'm out.